'Cause my monsters are real, and that train had a kill, and there's no coming back, and they just laugh at how I feel.
Talking with DJ Best, the coach of EC Glass Hilltoppers. Coach, you guys are getting ready to play LCA again this coming Saturday, weather permitting, that is. We've been through some crazy times, but I just want to ask you a couple questions here. What's your message to your players going into this game?
Well, I'm gonna give you the coach talk first. We got to get them. We've been off for 13 days. We haven't practiced since January 21st, technically. So before we played Heritage, and so tomorrow will be our first day of practice, and then we turn around and have to play Jefferson Forest on Friday before we can even get to the LCA game. So I think the good thing for us is the mantra that we've always used thus far going into every single game is just find a way to win the day. Um, I don't anticipate us coming out the gate on fire. I don't anticipate us setting the world on fire neither. I expect some bumps and bruises, some mental lapses, those types of things. But I think the one thing the summer has prepared us for is when you go to some of these um, open type summer invitations and live periods and stuff like that, and you're playing some top tier teams every single time you touch the floor, whether it's your first game, third game in the day, or whatever it is. Um, I think that that's where today comes in, or right in this time frame comes in. I remember going to JMU in June. We didn't even have everybody, and we played 3 games already, and Kings Fork needed to play their final game, and the team that they were playing wasn't going to make it in time. And they asked us if we didn't mind playing. So that gave us a 4th game, and Kings Fork is really good out of that Tidewater area. And we took a punch, we gave them a punch and battled and kept battling. And I think that the resilience that we showed there against them during the summer is what I expect to see. And so the message is going to stay the same: win the day, keep fighting, and just find a way to make a difference. If you're not scoring, find a way to impact the game. So, can you get a rebound? Can you just get a stop? Can you not get beat by your man? Can you remember the defensive assignments that are on, that we're trying to do out there on the floor? So I think a lot of those things come from just the guys already being ready to go. I think what you are going to see is a lot of antsy. I think they're ready to go. I don't know where their fatigue level is from a standpoint of where they should be this late into the season. But we got to control what we can control. As much as it's the weather, I think we've got a lot of what I've told them is it just seems like there's a lot of people trying to stop our ride. And so if you're not in the locker room, then it's us versus you. And so I think that they've bought into that. I think that they're ready to lock and load. I think that it should be a lot of fun.
So the schools have been closed for about a week and a half now. How does that affect your players, not just like your team, but the other team as well? Like both teams are having to deal with the same thing. It's not just one team that's dealing with this.
Oh, when you say both teams, I don't know. LCA gets to operate on their own calendar agenda. I was told that they have had a couple of, not mandatory practices, but since Friday. I
Okay.
mean, it just is what it is. Um, at the end of the day, we're not going to make excuses. We got to show up and play. And that's the same thing, trying to move all of these games now. And it's like, well, we're running out of time. So it's not like I'm going to be able to get to practice. This is best as it's going to get. It's either we'll play Friday, we play Saturday, then we play Monday and Tuesday. So we got a 4-game stretch in 5 days.
Yeah.
So we're either going to do 4 games in 5 days or we're going to do 5 games in 6 days. Well, let's just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and let's see where we are. I think that I honestly would say that the biggest difference is, a lot of this is out of the guy's control. Every time that something has happened and the game has been switched, it's been somebody on the internet, it's been downtown office stopping and not getting enough security. It's been weather. So you get those things that it's just to throw off your mojo. And the whole goal is lock in and win the day. It's been good. I took my son out to work out one day, and I happened to run into five of my guys. So it's good that we've got a group that they don't need to be told to go get in the gym when they can get out and get in the gym. And I think that that's the biggest difference, to be honest, for us. I can't speak on anybody else's. I know right now, when you look around and just even within the Seminole district, you got people fighting for playoff spots outside of just the Seminole. And so every game matters. And I think that that's the cool thing about how we played all season long. And the fact that there's a zero in that loss column, it's a big part of me. It's a
No,
big
you're
old bullseye. It's a big old bullseye on our back. And, and I think that we've done a really good job of weathering that storm of what that really does look like, over the course of the year thus far.
Yes, sir. Last time you guys had played at LCA, you played at LCA. You guys were trailing going into the fourth quarter. I believe you were losing by 19 last I remember. You guys ended up coming back and taking that quarter over 26-8 and winning the game. What was your plan? What was your message to the guys in that huddle for that moment?
So I just got done watching this as I've watched so much game tape because I didn't know who I needed to play without practicing. Uh, so 7 minutes left in the game. We go back down 18. And what happens? Trey shoots a wide open three. He actually misses this one finally. We get a ball, we get a possession, we get a layup and get the and one. And so we cut it to 14, call a quick timeout. And just it's kind of like a walking, we got to walk the dog. Now, the crazy thing at that time, and I talk about it all the time when me and my son are watching basketball on TV and stuff, is everything's got to go perfect. We have to play as close to perfect as we possibly can for the next 7 minutes. And when I say perfect, that means every time we get the ball, we have got to score. That's what perfect means at that point. If you have the ball 10 times, you need to score 20 points plus. We cannot go empty at any single possession. And then on the reverse side, we got to get lucky. They got to miss some shots that they had hit all game, which happened down the stretch. They got to turn the ball over and allow us to get into transition, which happened towards the end. And we just got to rebound the basketball. And I think what we saw was the perfect storm. 7 minutes, we get down, we're down 16. And then we get down, and I think at one point at the 5 minute mark, I'm telling them, hey, if you can get it under 7, let's cut this lead under 7 before the 3.5 mark, and you got a new basketball game. I think we do that in the next 2 possessions or something like that. And then the goal was at the 5 minute, 4 minute mark was, hey, get it under 5 with 3 minutes left, and you're going to win a basketball game. Because at that point, we felt like all the momentum, if we could cut it to 5, all the momentum would be shifted to glass. We had an amazing student section back there that carried us a lot of that period. But at the end of the day, man, basketball is weird because as much as it's about runs, it's about making shots. And LCA lit it up. They lit us up. They still to this day, 13 games in, they hit the most threes that anyone has against us this season with 8. So but that's something that they do really well. They stretch the floor. They're really long. And it does present a little bit of a problem as we're a little bit smaller from a guard standpoint, trying to figure out how we can mix and match and kind of just be able to contend with some of their shots. I mean, Trey shoots over my guards, and it looks like a shooting practice for him because he don't see nobody.
Yeah.
Same thing for Colton. But I think some of the things that we can do is put them in stretches where, making them defend, kind of trying to tire out their legs a little bit as best as we can, to kind of give us a little bit of help.
Now, you had mentioned that you guys have not been able to practice due to certain circumstances with the weather and different things. How big of an impact does that have on your guys, like for fatigue, when you're having to play these back-to-backs, but you're also not getting that day of practice to go over what you need to go over?
Tomorrow's gonna be a big day. I think that the well, I think as a coach, I'm gonna look at myself as I'm gonna have to be able to manage the game. I'm gonna have to. If you've seen a lot of Hilltopper basketball lately, I'm not a one to call timeouts early on because I know I'm gonna need them late down the stretch. You might have to see me burn one, early in the first half to just calm them down and settle them down. Um, cool thing about us, and this is what I really do love, is how deep we are. Our ability to go 9 and 10 deep on the bench and not really lose a step is going to be very big. Um, I I think if I want to try to use reverse psychology, man, I think the rest that we have received, although I don't like it, I think it can help us because we don't have as much wear and tear on our bodies right now, coming off of 13 days rest. And I think that once we can shake the cobwebs loose, that you'll see us be able to get going. Those 6 a.m. days at the stairs, 2 days a week over the summer, 3 and 4 games a day. A lot of these kids play AAU already. So I think a lot of that stuff is just going to be second nature for them to kick in and kind of just drive it. It'll just be trying to manage more of a game plan so I can keep my minutes on watch, understanding that, we got to play Friday first before we can even get to Saturday.
Yeah. Now, one last question I'm going to ask you before I let you go, Coach. The atmosphere, this is a home game for you guys. How big is it to have your fans and your student section show out for this game?
So this is a big stretch. So, we're on the road Friday to play Jefferson Forest. We're back home at a weird 2:30 clock for the game on Saturday as of right now. And I think that the one thing that we've done, man, we got a student section that'll travel. We got a student section that loves to come out. We got a student section that's loud and proud. Is we take that on the chin, man. We want them to feel proud of the product that we're putting out there. And I think it's bigger for us to be at home. If we had to go play some of these games and it's on the road, even if it's down the street for a 10-minute bus ride, you just kind of start getting lackadaisical. So it'll be good, Saturday, it's a Saturday game, so we can get them up early, get out. They'll eat again, just like we normally do, but be able to go through walkthrough and kind of get a light jog going on. So that way we can kind of manage those things too, get some game shots up, and just be able to really kind of let the floodgates go with the student section, see if we can rally behind them.
I got you. Well, Coach, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you this evening, sir. And I want to wish you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys play. I can't make it Friday night, unfortunately, but I will be keeping up with it. I plan to be there Saturday. I want to wish you guys luck at both Friday at Jefferson Forest as well as Saturday. Good luck to you guys.
Hey, thank you so much. You have a good one, okay?
Thank you as well.
Take care.
We just want to thank you guys for listening to the S&D podcast today. We just want to appreciate everybody for tuning in. Just remember, you can check us out on Apple, YouTube, and Spotify. And we look forward to talking to you guys in our next episode. Yes, sir.
Yo, so this is no justice, no peace. Well, let me speak my piece. Rocking the gospel of peace and it's going down. I'm aiming for the crown. Please pray for Ferguson and rest in peace, Mr. Mike Brown. Okay, I'm on it. They sold us lies for we even